Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh, everything's looking big because it's the opposite. We're painting small and I've had to pull my camera in as close as possible to be able to pick this up. So I'm just getting myself some white and blue because I want to create my sky, and it's quite... I might need a tiny bit of yellow in it actually. Just to warm that blue up a bit. Don't want it to go green, but it is got a little bit of a nicer blue. It's not quite, maybe more white. There we go. So we've got a house on here, or we're going to, hopefully. So let's start throwing this paint on. Some more white. So I've got some masking tape to hold this. It's just a playing card that I've taped down. Here I am. This just shows you the kind of detail you can do in these miniature cards. And then I've got this magnifying glass so I can see a bit better if I need to. Some more white. So I'm going to paint this bit using my acrylics. Get a little bit more of blue just to put that on there. A little bit more of the stronger blue up the top. Okay, and pick up a bit more of the white. And here we go, there's our nice sky. So what I'm using at the moment is just it's a Winsor & Newton Cotman brush, a watercolour brush. It's a number 6, it's a 6mm. It's quite a good little brush actually. I actually got given this one, I think. It was the one I got given. It works quite well. I've got this spray bottle to keep my paints wet. Got a few brushes, a few small ones. Just in case I need some detail. I've got a 4-0. I haven't really shown you stuff like that. I'll just dive straight in and try and tell you bits as I go. Try and remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dry this with my hairdryer so I can get moving to the next bit. But when you're painting, don't feel like you have to rush. Just enjoy it. Have a bit of time to enjoy yourself, enjoy your painting. Using a playing card to do your painting on, it's quite it's quite fun because you use barely any paint. These little dots of paint, they are little dots. That's probably too big a dot, but you can get a few paintings out of a small amount of paint. It saves you a bit of money. And you don't have to go into detail with miniatures if you don't want to. You can be a bit more impressionistic or looser to do these little landscapes. Just to show you a few before I dry this off. There's a little fun landscape. I might do that one again and do it as a video just to show you. I did a train station, inside a train station. Little people. There's another person. So you can have some fun with these. So I'm just going to dry this and then I'll start doing the next one. So I'm going to make some colour for the building, some yellow ochre, some burnt umber, some white. It's probably a bit more yellowy. Maybe a bit of red in it. A bit of blue in it. See how that blue really dulls it. That's actually dulled it quite a lot, but that's quite nice. That's quite nice. A bit more brown and a bit more yellow. There, that's our dark. That is nice. I'm happy with that. So we've got this building. So I'm blocking in the major shapes first. About there. About there, I think. Just sort of sit back, have a look. It's about right. There is a bit of a building over here as well. I'll put it in. It's not an important, well, I suppose it is because it's there. But it's not as important as this building, so. Put a little bit more blue in my colour to darken this one. It's a bit darker on the roof. So a bit of blue and a little bit of brown. I'll leave that to dry for a minute. And now I've got to think about this. I've got to put the roof on and some chimneys. I've got a tree. So I'm grabbing a bit of blue, a bit of yellow. There's a bit of brown in there as well. Yellow, blue, a bit more blue. More blue, a bit of red, more blue in there. That's probably about right. That's what I'm after. A nice dark, but kind of warm at the same time. And that's going to go on this tree. There's a tree growing there. And there's a bush growing here as well. There's like bushes there. There's a use that same colour. It's a good good way of doing things is using the colour while you've got it, so you can block in all these areas pretty quick. Speeds things up a little bit. Bit of a thing there. The path goes back there. And just throw a little bit of sky colour in my colour then. Bit of this road colour there. That needs a little bit lighter where the light's hitting. A little bit of yellow and white. I can get the light in there, sort of in there. Like that. So you can see it without the glare. Looks like that. As the paint dries, it starts to lose its glare. So I'll try and keep doing that so you can see. Now I need to do some windows. So just picking up a bit of that sky colour, that blue and white. Maybe with a little bit of yellow in it. Just show you this. Get some yellow ochre, some sky colour, and get a nice sort of bluey green. It's about the colour of the windows, the glass part of the windows, something like that anyway. So the first one is here, like this. The second one is there. There. I need to go a bit lighter than that actually. Another window's there. And then the other window is actually off. I thought that window should be right next to it, but it's not, it's there. It's a bit weird. I'm learning a lot recently. When I've been out plein air painting, doing paintings of buildings. I'm learning a lot. No, I just expect buildings to be exact. I never really thought about how. Oh, I've messed that up. I just used my finger and I've pulled up that paint. Put that back in. Yeah, and I didn't realise how a lot of buildings are not as exact as I'd thought. You know, like some windows are in different places, or find some doors have been bricked up and they've moved them. So I'm out there painting, looking and thinking, oh, that's not right. Not realising. I need to dry this because I'm not able to put colour on. We'll just dry this off a minute and then I'll carry on. Okay, I've given that a bit of a dry just to make it a bit easier for me. I haven't used my magnifying glass yet. I'm warming up to it. So now I need a roof. Use this. Oops. Use this brush again, the brush that I did the house with. I'm gonna get some red, bit of yellow. So I want to make kind of a terracotta colour really. not bad actually. It's a bit of alizarin crimson, bit of yellow, ochre. Let's have a look at what it looks like on the page. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad for this side anyway. There's a bit more light on this part of the roof. Okay, and then I want to dull it, so I'm just going to take my colour into a bit more of a dull colour. Oh dear. I just went into this and I put more red in it and it's a disaster. Get some blue and red. Make my dull colour. A bit of dullness in the roof along here. That works pretty good. Notice that there's not quite a very straight edge there, so using a bit of paint, a little bit of the blue paint, can straighten that up. This is probably like this. Should be anyway. Clean that bit up a bit. There is actually something in the background there, so I might use a little bit of blue, a little bit of brown, and just give it an indication that there's something there. But not really go into detail. See, back there is the same. There's sort of a building, but it's it's not something of importance, so I'm not too worried about it. It's just something in the background. So now getting there a bit. I'm gonna grab on this finer brush. I'm gonna do this line here. The other thing is you can see some of the ridges. I'm just going to use my magnifying glass. I don't need to do too much. Just need to make sure I've got the effects of the roof, because then it goes kind of dark like on here. while we're at it, we've got a chimney there. And there's one here as well. You can see the other bit there. And you can decide how much detail you want to put in. I keep overdoing my colour mixing on my palette because I'm so used to using more paint. When you do like the bigger paintings, you're mixing more colour. I had to remind myself that I don't need as much. So everything becomes more acute, including your colour mixing. You sort of mix a little bit of colour, just a little bit, and that does all the work for you, that little bit of colour. Just to show you, this is what I'm seeing, and I'm just going along. Like a bit of dark bit there. And then down here, you can't really see that. But there, I need to put a little bit of a ridge under the window. And there's a bit of a something like that, and then this window as well. So yeah, it becomes it becomes a bit of a challenge. You'll if you have a go at this, enjoy yourself, have fun with it. Don't pressure yourself, because it's if it's something new, then just see it as a bit of fun. I like to have a bit of fun when I'm painting. So I'm gonna start putting in some of the lower bits, and then I'll start thinking about the light, because that's important. So we need a bit of green. We haven't put any green on our plate, so I just use a plate to paint with. So I've got a little bit of sap green on there. Got my dirty brush, a little bit of blue in the green. Look at me over mixing colour again. I just can't help it. Bit of yellow. That's quite nice. That's like a first colour. Quite like that. Maybe a touch more blue in it. I'll go with this first. When I say a first colour, it's my first highlight colour. Because the light is coming this way, that's got the light there, and then there's grass along here. I left a bit of white there to help me out with that grass. Grab some yellow and green. It's like grass there. There's a bit of grass here as well. notice this is quite dark, really. But that's good. So I like to paint in the darks, so then I can paint in the lights afterwards. Oh, what we haven't done is there's a bit of light on the side of the chimneys. Use my magnifying glass because I can't really just get that little bit of light. The pot there. There's another pot, but it's more yellow ochre-y than anything. It's more of a... spraying my colours with my atomizer. Using the old atomizer. Yeah, we need a grey. A grey colour for this. Chimney pot there. And there. There we go. There's a lighter sort of grey along this chimney pot where there's a little bit of metal. You know how they put the lead around it. It's probably a bit too much. Well, I looked it in under the magnifying glass. No. That was a disaster. We'll let that dry a minute. Oh dear. So, start putting in a bit of light, I think. Maybe on the windows first. So I'm going to make myself a yellowy white. Bit of a brown in there, a bit of white in there. Just trying to get this sort of an off colour first. So I'm always making colours that are not quite bright enough first, because then I want to do the brightness afterwards. It's always that. It's always the way I'm thinking. It's always like that now. Get the old magnifying glass going. That. actually fine. Once the brush has been used a bit, it works a bit better. A bit less paint on it. Okay. Well, that was a challenge. We'll carry on. It's not brilliant. I need to. I need some more blue. This is what I need. I need more of a bluey green, I think, on the inside of the window. It's not quite dark enough. This is what the problem is, it's not dark enough. It needs to be a bit darker. Try this window. That's better. And then a bit under there. Okay, a bit dark there as well. A bit of shadow from that building that's in there. There's a shadow there as well. There's a door there. Might as well put that in. And there is. Why are we doing this? There's a curb. Along there. Just use my finger just to smooth that a little bit. Sort that way. Something like that. See, we're starting to get somewhere. It's starting to look like a house. Getting a bit more light. On the path. I think about on the road probably there. Need a bit more light there. Bit more light on the path there as well. Okay. Now on the stonework, there's light sort of it's a bit too light, I think. Some yellow ochre and white. Tap some of the paint away and start lightening up some of the areas where it's breaking in. That side edge there, and that edge there. Light there as well. Also want a bit of sunlight hitting this tree. And this bush, sort of a pale greeny colour. Just use my finger there to remove some of it. That's not quite right, it needs to be a bit more bluey in it. Some darker bits in amongst it as well. I need to leave that to dry a little bit because I'm not able to manipulate it at the moment. bit of a light yellowy green here, hitting some of that. Hitting the grass. Bit more of that in amongst this. Amongst that grass there. Oops. Ding. Round 1. We're on about round 50. Capture a bit of light on this window here. Light there, and a bit of light coming across in that side there. Okay, there's actually a bit of light there as well. Just need to improve this window a bit. Okay, look there. You can see it a little bit like that. It's coming on. It's coming on quite nice, and you could choose how much detail you want to put in, and you can change your colours and things, and wait for areas to dry, and then you can come in again. There's a bit of path there that's not filled in, I've noticed. Get that there. There's this dark line above the window there. It needs to go in. There is a I don't know if I can paint it in, to be honest. No, it's too fine a line. I might be able to if I put paint next to each other. It's going to be a challenge. I'll give it a go. Basically, I'm trying to paint an aerial. So what I'm going to have to do is put paint on and then put paint on that. Sort of. I'm not going to really try too hard with that. You might need you can use a piece of paper and put paint on it and use that sometimes, but I'm not going to do that. Just want to darken this one side a bit more. Okay, that's better. That's a bit better. I think a bit of grass growing there. I think we're doing quite well actually. I could do a little bit of fresh yellow and then line up the grass a touch and line up the bush a bit, I think, as well, looking at it. Lighten this grass up a touch more. Some pure yellow ochre and a bit of sap green. And this bush needs a bit more light. I'm just looking at the light area and how it's hitting. It sort of hits a bit there as well. And there's a looking at some pure areas. Because what you also have to remember is when it dries, depending on what's in it, how much water's in your paint, it can dry, can almost disappear. So you want your paint to be quite thick. And another thing is to remember to keep your colours clean. Which is difficult for me now because I want some pure white, and look at that, it's all mixed. So you've got to get some more paint and make another little blob of white, which is what I've just done. So you've got a clean colour, and there's been times where I've almost ruined a painting by being lazy and not getting a clean colour. I think it's a really important thing to do that when you're doing your lights, especially. Just want a little bit of colour there. There we go. There's a touch there as well. And that bit there. A little bit more. Just having a look around the painting. I quite like what I've done actually. I'm quite happy. Quite happy. Probably should be a little bit more dark there. But other than that, I think we've done pretty good. I'm quite happy with this little house. Little miniature house. I can take the paper off. I just had that on just to make sure it stays flat, really. And then what we can do then is just finish it up. That's that. Put more of that light colour on there. There is a bit of reflective light on the side of this wall, actually. Just use my finger to make it disappear. Put a little bit of paint on and then make it disappear like that. And there is a little bit of a tree behind it. Tree, bit of a wall, and then at the top. Get some of that sky colour in. Kind of want to put some strokes in of sky actually. Some lighter ones. Make it look like clouds and stuff. Okay, so I think I'll call this one finished. You can put a little mark on if you like, or just leave it as it is. There we go. I'll just move this pad down a little bit. So there we have the finished painting. So if you enjoyed watching this one, something a little bit different, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.